Hey guys, it's Mark, and for a slightly different video this morning, I'm just in my car, of course, and I don't have the blue shirt, the blue guitar, and you'll see why the topic of this video really aligns with the fact that I'm not necessarily ready, and I'm not necessarily in a prime position to shoot a really good video with guitar in hand. And the simple topic is this: there's no really a curriculum or straight line. And that's a thing I've heard a lot from you guys with YouTube comments, teaching for the past 15 years online, and dealing one-on-one with students, that people are really typically trying to look for a straight line curriculum, like what's A and B and Z, and I want to be sure I do it in the right order and that it's organized and there's a syllabus and everything. As much as, say, as an instructor and books and DVDs and online courses want to do well, there is no such thing. All right, that's a whole lesson here. There's not a straight syllabus or curriculum that will put everything in the right order to achieve a certain goal or aspect. It is if I want to have a certain certification, if I want to become an engineer or something, but music is not quite like that, right? It's a language. And I'll tell you that the curriculum basically is the songs I want to play in the style I want to perform in. In my case, it's okay, I want to be able to comp and improvise well on standards and just have these progressions as an outlet or a place of self-expression. And by the way, you don't see moving my other hand. It's because it's holding the phone right now. And I'm sitting at this beautiful national park. It's really near my place. I see a gopher, or I see animals. I saw a cardinal fly by. It's like really beautiful and calm, just what I needed this morning, quite frankly, because things get hectic and the kids gotta go to daycare and haven't showered or shaved. But hey, c'est la vie, push forward. And there's a few things I want to talk about in this episode, in that there's no straight curriculum is a thing. Also, people wait for conditions to be perfect to practice, to make sure they're in the right mood, that they know exactly what they have to practice and what kind of outcomes going to give. Also, my students look for the perfect understanding. Like, I can't really rehearse this scale or this thing unless I fully understand why this minor 11th and this and that. So I think all these things are fallacies, because ultimately, look, I'm walking the talk. I'm not effectively ready for a full-fledged YouTube video in my studio with the lightings and the blue shirt and the this and the that, right? I still went through with it. And that's a way I like to define discipline for myself. Discipline is doing it regardless of how I feel about it, or if I feel ready, or if conditions are perfect. So that's a quick insight for anyone picking up the guitar and playing and not stopping and not like pondering and head scratching is a big part of the puzzle. It's like, pick up that thing, man. Pick up the guitar, play it. Pick up the guitar, play it. Pick up the guitar. Planning is important. Playing the right things is important. Having the exercises and the understanding and the study is important, but not as important as the sheer volume of stuff I'm going to play, right? There's a point where it's like, well, now you may be wasting your time because you're doing too much, so we can refine the plan. But let me tell you, that's through sheer dumb luck, we typically stumble upon the things that are necessary for growth. And that would be songs in our case. And there will always be something in my studies that I will discover that's going to be the next thing I want to look into, the next obsession, the next thing I never heard of that I'll practice. And it's fine. And I want to bring back an analogy with, as people say, learning a language, which I consider more of a parallel to learning jazz, but assuming we are looking into the curriculum analogy again, the syllabus. So I find that, one, there's no syllabus. And if there were, just thought experiment, we could look into questioning and interviewing maybe 100 or 1,000 jazz guitarists, not necessarily like legendary jazz guitarists, but the people that have achieved the sound and that are able to improvise and know the standards and play the gigs. Ask these guys, what was the step-by-step approach, structured approach? And you'll have 1,000 different answers, right? So it does mean that this straight line does not really exist, or else most people will tell you, oh yeah, absolutely, you have to do this before you do that, which is just simply not true, right? And a good analogy to that would be, I'm sitting in my car, which I love and drive every day. This thing I learned to drive when I was 16, right? Imagine having a curriculum that goes, no, like, Mark, you have to do all of the stop signs, do stops way before you get on a highway, or you need to be driving in these zones and having this curve before you do any left turns. Like, no, you know what the journey is? You'll get on a road and you'll encounter the signs that you're supposed to know and encounter other people's behavior, like cyclists and pedestrians, like people walking, other drivers, motorcycles, right? Or you'll encounter weather. Oh my God, right? So I think it's the same with learning tunes and learning jazz. Would be, well, get going with the thing and you'll encounter the thing that you want to do, which is playing songs, right? And you'll encounter the traffic signs and the other people's behavior and the stuff that you have to encounter regardless while doing it. Which brings me to another analogy, another little topic of the fallacy. So often the fallacy is, I have to do X, Y, and Z before I can do A, B, and C. I'm not allowed to perform body and soul before I have studied and nailed all of the arpeggios and all of the scales and all the positions and all the chord inversions and all the right. And this is just, it's just not true. And it, just thinking about it, it raises my anxiety level. I go like, oh my God, body and soul. And yet I just want to sit down and play, you know, that's the intention. So the important thing is to get going. I took a few lessons back then, 20 years ago, with a gentleman by the name of J.S. Williams. He's in Montreal, look him up. Great guitarist with a great tone. And I asked him, I was getting down on myself, going like, beating myself on the head. I don't have gigs, people don't want to play with me, I'm struggling with these scales, altered scales. And he said, you know what it is? I think it's persistence, his words. And there was this pause. It's persistence. The longer you stay in the game, Mark, the better the game is going to get. Words of wisdom, which was tremendous. On that, enjoy your day. Practice hard. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.